morning to all of you students. I am Rasmin sir, imparting knowledge of English to the students of 9 to 12 standard in English medium. Once again, a very hearty welcome to the English world of Aradhya. Students, in my previous video, we have already taken your fifth lesson. The title of the lesson is The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role, written by Nani Palkhiwala. Now, in my first video, I already told you this particular lesson is about the environmental degradation. Okay, the writer is drawing our attention to this particular fact that if we don't save the environment, environment will not save us. So, by not saving the environment, we are inviting our own death. Okay, so I had talked about different things over there, and I had also told you that now there is a great shift, okay, in the view of the people. Earlier people were adopting just the mechanistic view. Now they are adopting ecological view. Okay, the first nationwide green party was started by the people in 1972 in New Zealand. Okay, since then it has drawn the attention of the other countries of the world also, and it has got much more relevance now. I had also told you when it was started, that time you see the world's population was limited. But in the remaining years, even remaining this 50 years, you see world population has almost become double or more than double. And that's why it is of growing concern. Because the population, to provide their need, to satisfy their needs, they go on destroying the environment. They go on destroying the forest, they go on destroying the natural vegetations and other things. And as a result, what happens? The environment is just spoiled. So we cannot live in such an environment. Then we get different types of infections, okay, different types of diseases, because environment is not good enough. Okay, so all those things we had talked about, and how the people are now worried, how people have started considering the earth as a living being, okay, a living organism of which we are also part. We have also just started thinking that the earth also has its metabolic needs and we should respect them. All those needs we must respect and preserve. So from that we will continue, students. The earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. So now you see the earth is considered here as a patient. And I told you why as a patient. Because during that time, you see people were going for burning the fuel in the form of diesel, coal and other things, which were producing a lot of smoke, poisonous gas, which was mixing in the environment. Plus, due to industrialization, solid wastage and liquid wastages were also just released into the environment or in the river. So it was causing water pollution also and environmental pollution also. Okay, so now students, you see, if we look at the earth's vital signs, we can say that the earth is in what? Earth is just a patient. It is not a healthy being. Earlier we saw that earth is a living organism, but now living organism in which state? It is in the ailing state. Ailing means it is sick. It is a patient. Okay, and its health is continuously deteriorating. Declining health means spoiling health. Health is continuously deteriorating. Whose health? Earth's health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligation to be good stewards of the planet. Now, many countries of the world, I told you, many people of the different countries of the world have realized that we must understand our moral obligation. Okay, students, ethical obligation means moral duties. To be the good steward. Good steward means good caretaker of this earth. Okay, we inherited this earth from our fathers and forefathers. Okay, so they tried to do something. Okay, every father loves to give the best things to his child. No father would say that I will not give anything to my child. I'll provide the best things to my child. So we are getting the best things, so we are also supposed to give best things to our children. So our coming generation. Okay, so we don't want to give a very much spoiled and very much deteriorated earth to our coming generation. Otherwise, what will happen? They will blame us as we are blaming our previous generation. They went for the mechanistic view, they went on using, but that time you see students, this CNG and other options were not available. So whatever was available, they started using, and they did not have much knowledge. But now we have got that knowledge. Ki CNG is better compared to petrol, diesel. So why should we go for petrol and diesel? We should go for CNG. It is not causing environmental problems. Understood? So students, here we have realized our moral obligation. Okay, we are also the caretaker of this earth. When we die, we won't take this earth with us. Nobody will take anything with him. We will give it to our coming generation. So shall we give them in the worst condition or the best condition? That is up to us. That's why it is said that we are the good stewards. Steward means the caretaker of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generation. So we are just the trustees of this legacy. Legacy means whatever, means inheritance. Okay, this earth we got in inheritance from our forefather. And we are the trustees only because it is not our property. Trustees' work is to look after the property which he gets. So we are also the trustees of this earth. Nobody will take anything from this earth with him when he or she dies. So we are, it is fact, it is a fact that we are going to give this legacy to our coming generation. We are not going to take it with us. So shall we give them in the best condition or worst condition? That's the question over here. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. So I had told you about the sustainable development earlier also. I told you when it comes, I'll explain to you. So sustainable development means what? Ki you go on manufacturing the things without harming the environment. Without taking it for granted that coming generation will do in their time something to just purify this environment. Without thinking that. Okay? You just go on manufacturing the things without harming the environment. That is called sustainable development. And for that I had given you one particular example of the industry of Rajasthan in my previous video, where the manufacturing unit, that process was shown in 25 minutes and remaining 35 to 45 minutes they used only for showing the disposal of the garbage. So there we can say that industry is following all the norms, industrial norms. Understood? Because then only the sustainable development is possible. You sustain, you provide your need, you also allow the other species also to grow. Okay? That is called sustainable development. And that was what popularized by the World Commission on Environment and Development. So these are the agencies of UN, students. UN has different agencies. Okay, those agencies are working in their field. So one particular agency is working for this. The title of that is what? World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. Okay, sentence is very important. How they have defined the development. The development should be such that it meets the needs of the present generation. Okay, present generation, whatever they get, they can manufacture and use them without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. So when you are just satisfying your needs in any way, are you just thinking about the present future generation? That is a question mark. I want this particular thing. For that, if I set up this machinery, it will create a lot of pollution. So do you think over there? When future generation comes, that time they will have some technology or something by which they will purify something. So let us go on spoiling the environment. Do you go on providing your needs on this theory? That we should not take it for granted that a future generation will have some technology through which they will purify the environment. So we can't take it for granted. When we are satisfying our needs, we have to see that the environment remains pure. Okay, it is not deteriorated. That is called the development over here. That's how development is defined over here. Okay. without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their needs. That is to say, without stripping the natural world of resources future generation would need. Okay, students, without stripping, yani destroying the natural world of resources. This world is full of resources. You see, vegetables are what? Natural vegetations are a type of resource. Okay, all the minerals are a type of resource. Wind energy, other energy, solar energy are what? Are resources. So are we destroying those resources? Because minerals, you see, it takes lakhs of years to form the minerals. Now during the time of our generation only, if we just excavate everything, take out everything from the earth, then when future generation needs, from where will they get? Future generation means, say, the generation after us. So generation after us is a matter of just a few years, 30, 40 years, not more than that. And minerals take lakhs of years to form. So when their generation comes, they may not have minerals. So that's why when you go for the development, here it is said that you should not finish the resources. Okay? You should not destroy the resources in any form. Otherwise, future generation will not have anything. So their life will be full of troubles without any facilities. Okay? So that is what talked over here. Then in the zoo at Lusaka, now students, this is very important. Okay? I already told that we are the stewards of the people of this planet, sustainable development. Now the writer gives us the example of the zoo in Lusaka. Okay, Lusaka is in Zambia. Zambia is a South African country. Students, you see. There is a cage where the notice reads. So there we outside the cage there is one notice. As you go to the Kankaria Zoo, you see so many notices are put outside the cages of the animals and birds. Okay, so there is one notice. Now what is written over there? The world's most dangerous animal. When you read the notice, you might wonder which is the world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, you try to find out why it is not appearing. It must have hidden. Okay, like that thing. But when you look into the cage, what happens? Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Understood, students? What it tries to say? It tries to say that human beings only are the most dangerous animal. Okay, human beings have been made superior to all the animals by God. In our Christianity, we believe that God created man in his own image and gave him all the powers over all the animals, birds, and all the living organisms. So man has been superior. Have you found any lion establishing any factory? Have you found any donkey? Have you found any other tiger or such wild animals just stitching the clothes or something like that? No, those works are carried out by human beings only. The humans have been given the entire power over everything. Understood? And now humans only have become the most dangerous animal. This particular zoo in Lusaka, in Zambia, is the testimony of it. Very wisely they have put that notice, and inside there is no animal. But when you look into the cage, what is there? One mirror where you see yourself only. Then you realize indirectly it is trying to say that the most dangerous animal on this earth is you. You means human being. Understood, students? So because human being, they just go on satisfying their needs without considering the needs of the other species. Okay. So that's why it is the most dangerous animal. Okay. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon. Okay. Dawned upon means understood by the people. The most dangerous animal in the world. Okay. So now most dangerous animals means human beings have now got the new awareness, new understanding that we cannot go on dominating this world. This world is shared not only by we people, but by the animals also, by the birds also, by the other living species also. So we cannot dominate. Okay, it should be students on the mutual level. Okay, partnership based. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on the domination to one based on partnership. Okay, up till now man was dominating. Now also man is dominating over all the living species. You see, all the living species are controlled by man. But now he has realized that if I go on satisfying my needs without taking into consideration all these points, what will happen? The other species may not survive. Okay, if you go to the polar region, you see 4 5 animals only you can see, different types of animal: penguin, polar bear, or seal, just 3 4. But if you are in this region, particular tropical region, the region uh, between both the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, so you see in that region covering this one equator, so in that region you see so many species of the different living organisms are there. So many means lakhs of species are there. While you go to the polar region, there are only 4 5 animals, different types of animals you can find. While here lakhs of species are there, some insects are also there, which you cannot see also. So you see the life evolved around this tropical region. And that's why man is controlling all of them. Now man does not worry about those organisms, then what will happen? They might become extinct. Some of the animals and birds have become extinct in certain areas. Earlier students, you see, here we used to see a lot of sparrows when we were children. Okay, so many domestic animals and birds we could see. Okay, pigeons, doves. Now doves are hardly seen over here. This you see, sparrows. Sparrows are also hardly seen over here. And in our childhood, we had plenty of sparrows. We used to play with sparrows. Understood? Play with means in a different way that I won't tell you. But so many different living organisms were available here in our same area. And now it seems that they have become extinct. Extinct means they are not seen at least in this region. They must have migrated to some other area. Understood? So that might happen when the human becomes selfish. What will happen? It will be very difficult for the other species to survive. Understood? So now human cannot afford to go on just dominating the other species. He will have to share this world, this earth with the other species. Then only other species can survive. Otherwise, other species will not survive, and finally, the humans also will not survive because of their own acting, or because of their own works, okay, against the environment. Okay. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Okay. In science, if you see, they study different living organisms. So here it is said that scientists have catalogued, means categorized, about 1.4 million. 1 million means 10 lakhs. 1.4 means 14 lakhs. Understood, students? Here you see the 14 lakhs species scientists have given us, categorized, with which mankind shares the earth. So man is not the only one who can have all the access to this earth. Other species also need to survive. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. These are categorized animals and birds and insects. What about those which are uncategorized, still are not categorized? What about those? Okay, so they are also many. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million, yani 30 lakhs to 1000 lakhs species are still uncategorized. Other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. They languish means they suffer Here languish means suffer, because man does not allow them to live. Indirectly also man does not allow them to live properly. So they suffer. Unnamed. Unnamed means they are not still categorized. They are not identified by the scientist, those species. In ignominious darkness. Ignominious darkness means disgraceful darkness. Okay, they have not come into the light of the human beings. Human beings have not exactly identified them, and that's why they suffer. Human beings don't worry about those insects or those birds or animals, and that's why those all the species are suffering. Students, so I think you have got much more idea about this. Let me just continue with the next paragraph. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia means among the other things, with the question of ecology and environment was the Brand Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its member, Mr. L.K. Jha. Okay, so this particular commission, students, was working with the question of ecology and environment. It was working for this particular thing, and in that you see one Indian was also there in that commission. His name was L.K. Jha. Now, what is the matter over here? Let's see. The first Brand report raised the question: are we to leave our successors a scorched planet or advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? Understood, students? The first time they gave the report about the environment, in that they raised this particular question. Are we to leave, means are we to give our coming generation the scorched planet? Scorched planet means successors, means coming generation, and scorched planet means planet cannot grow anything. Okay, it is desert type planet. So are we going to give our coming generation like that planet Earth that they talk about, of advancing desert, where the desert area only, all for miles and miles you cannot see a single plant. Okay, impoverished landscape also is very much spoiled, and ailing environment. An environment is also such where a newborn baby also might find it very hard to breathe, might find it very hard to survive. So are we going to give our coming generation like this earth? We are going to give them the best type of earth, best type of environment. That was the question raised by the first report given by the Brand Commission. Understood? So students, with that we come to the end of this particular session. Remaining lesson is also quite interesting, because it will talk how we are destroying or how we are affecting negatively our environment, and what are the results of it. What is the view of the people of the backward countries? Okay, sometimes some countries are taking proper care, but the neighboring countries are not taking that much care, because the people in the neighboring countries are very backward, and because of that the pollution they create over there, that is affecting this country, which is taking a lot of care about the environment. Okay, so students, all those things we will discuss in my next video. Till that time, stay fit, stay fine, have a good day, God bless you. Once again, go through this lesson, it will help you to understand more. Thank you.